Hello. Today we're going to be rambling and also be doing some random triggers. And today we're going to talk about the tendency to make up problems or flaws or worries in the absence of any that humans sometimes do, because it's very interesting and I do it all the time, and I've kind of been wrestling with this tonight, where I've been criticizing myself and judging myself about how I'm spending my time and how much I'm accomplishing. And I don't know if I have to do that. I had this voice saying that I'm lazy because I'm not accomplishing a lot right now. But I don't know if it's actually true, or if it's just making something up, just to attack myself. And I feel like maybe that's just a human tendency to do, is to just make up stuff to attack ourselves with, because some of us don't love ourselves enough, I guess, or have a high amount of self-loathing in them. But it's just a very interesting idea and habit that we have to just make up things to fill the void when there really aren't any, to make up stress, to make up things to worry about when everything's fine, almost like we search for things to destroy ourselves with, or to hurt ourselves with. Some of us. Maybe not the healthy ones. But I definitely do. And it's kind of silly, if you really take a step back and look at it, it's just like, I don't need to do that, and not only do I not need to do that, I'm not even sure if that's true, I'm not even sure if I really am lazy, or if I'm just adapting to my situation right now, which so many of us are, which is fairly restricted because of the pandemic, and so, we're just reacting to circumstance. And I do that a lot, I also say a lot, I've noticed, as a filler. I'll call myself lazy, or I'll call myself ugly, or not strong, weak. I'll call myself timid, or not manly, not masculine, and there's just really like why am I doing that, What's the point of criticizing yourself? Why do we have to do that? Even if it's true, is there really any benefit in calling yourself names? came up in therapy a few weeks ago. I was writing something, and I was like, I wrote, I don't need to keep self-flagellating myself like the priest in the Scarlet Letter, who is like so racked with guilt about having an affair with the girl that he like hurts himself. And I'd like to stop doing that, you know. I'd like to just take a step back and not judge my surroundings or the people around me, and not judge myself. Because there's something very unhealthy about judging and assigning labels to everything around you. And it's probably tied into my perfectionism, which is something we've also been talking about in therapy. That being a perfectionist, you have this high standard in all aspects of life that you're trying to achieve. And it makes you very critical, and not only critical of the people and the things around you, but also yourself. But it's just so wearisome, constantly whipping yourself for mistakes, you know? Like, oh, I'm lazy. It's like every one of those is a lash. Oh, I'm lazy. I'm not manly enough. I'm too timid. I'm too shy. I'm too introverted. It's just awful. And it's very unempathetic to yourself, which is kind of an interesting word or phrase. You know? Like, if I was as critical of somebody else as I am of myself, they would be like, I would be basically bullying them. I'm basically like a bully to myself almost, you know? They would be like, why are you pointing out all of my flaws? Why are you being so critical? But when it's to myself, I don't recognize the level of malevolence I'm directing towards myself. And so, like, I was gonna, make a video talking about, me feeling like I'm lazy, or me feeling like I'm too timid and I'm not good at, like, confrontation and stuff like that. But then I was like, why don't I make a video talking about my need to criticize myself and point out my weaknesses and my lackings, Because why would I make a video about that when I could do the complete opposite and have a video talking about my strengths, I still feel like before I can help other people, I've got to learn to love myself. Almost like before I can move on to the next level, progress. It's not that I need to somehow do more for others. I need to, address the self-hatred within myself and just like get that out of myself, the self-criticism. I need to weed that parasite from out of my psyche before I can continue on with my journey. And I feel like, this is something that can be done. It's just noticing and just kind of interestedly observing, or observing with interest, how harsh I am to myself, It's like you're not doing enough. You're lazy. You're a mindless consumer. You're not producing enough. It's just constantly needling you like a mosquito that you can't kill, that's just buzzing around and poking you. And it's not helpful, and I need to get rid of it. And I hope these sounds are good. And I think that the solution to all of those problems that I'm mostly making up just because I don't have any actual problems, so I'm just making them up, because I hate myself, I guess. The solution is probably in noticing my strengths and my successes more than my failures, like a way to be more lazy is not to constantly, whip yourself every time you don't do something, because then that's just going to make you I feel like that just makes you even more lazy, because then it feels like this growing snowball of laziness until you're just like, well, I guess I am, a cattle, a passive blob who doesn't have the energy to do anything. Rather than that, if you can focus on the things you did that were productive, I feel like that's how you climb out of the lazy hole, or the unproductive hole, by saying, I did this, I do that, not I didn't do this, I didn't do that. For example, I'm filming this video right now, and that is productive. I went on a walk today, and that was productive. I relaxed and took the day off and didn't really think about ASMR, and in a way, that's productive, because that allows me to come back tomorrow ready to rumble, ready to go. So yeah, this was just kind of like a vent. Maybe you do this to yourself as well. And if you do, why don't we both make it our goal this week to notice when we criticize ourselves and just take a step back and go, hold on a second. Is this even helpful? Is this even beneficial? And then just kind of kick it out of your head, because they're just little yippy dogs that you just gotta punt out of your head. And I don't think you have to constantly be critiquing yourself. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's nourishing or helpful. I think there's a time for reflection, but constant biting self-criticism, I think, is only going to make you exhausted and defeated. So starting now, let's begin our goal, and try to weed out as much self-criticism and self-harm, basically, self-harm in terms of the emotional or the spiritual sense as we can.